What's up, everybody? Another week, another podcast. Flyer Live podcast, episode 33. We continue to climb the ranks of the best amateur golf podcasts of all time. And by best, I mean longest. We should you know what I should do, Mitch? Just to make ourselves feel good. I should go look at the stats and see how long most podcasts last before people quit. So I feel like it's less than 33. And then maybe that makes us feel way better about doing 33. Because 33 kind of seems low when you think about overall podcast. But
Yeah.
how many have started and did like five and they're like, fuck it. This is too hard every week or more. Some people do more. We're just climbing the ranks. Eventually, we're going to be at 133. And we're going to look back at 33 and be like, dang,
That'll be wild.
you know? Anyways, I just randomly think about things right at the beginning, and I don't know what happens to my brain, but that was the thing I just thought of. Anyways, uh, as I mentioned, we are, if you don't know us by now, which you probably do, we are an amateur golf podcast. We don't talk about the pros because we are not the pros. We are amateurs. We play amateur golf. We play nothing like the pros. We don't talk about them unless we can use the pros to help us be better golfers as amateur golfers, which occasionally you can do. So we stay away from the pros for the most part. And we just talk about amateur golf, whether it's regular golf, just playing for fun, playing with the boys on a Saturday afternoon, or going out and playing state amateur events, playing competitions, playing league matches, all types of competitions. We talk about that stuff too because we both do those things. Um, yeah, we are, by the way, live on X, which we call Twitter here, and YouTube. So if you're into watching live shows and you're watching this as a replay, we're live every Thursday at 8 on those two platforms, so you can catch us there on X/Twitter and YouTube. And our video replays are there as well. However, if you are a audio listener, there's four places for that. The replays are on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon. No, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart. There they are. There they are. Those are the four. YouTube has the videos.
Nailed it.
So if you're an audio person, the replays are there. Um, they should all be there now. So check them out there. Give us the likes if you like us, the subscriptions, the 5 stars, those things. They're very helpful for us um, to kind of get our name around. Because the ultimate goal, Mitch, I think we're on the same page here, is not to be like millionaire podcasters. Uh, Although that would be fun and cool. But the ultimate goal really is to just build a community of amateur golfers here that we can all, chat about golf and get better at golf together and help each other out and all accomplish our goals that we all have in amateur golf, which we all have different goals. So if we can just have a community where we all kind of work together to accomplish those goals, I think that's our ultimate goal, right, Mitch?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's kind of the neat part, and we want to hear from all of you too. What do you want to hear more of? If you want to be on the podcast to talk about your golf game, if you have competitions, like we want to hear all that. So
Hmm.
feel free to pop in the chat or comment on YouTube or just send us a DM. Just let us know what you want to hear more of, and as we continue to build this podcast up and bring
Hmm.
more content you want to hear about.
Exactly. Yep. We've had, I don't know, what, 10, 11, 12 guests in 33 shows, Mitch? Something like that, probably. Probably like 10, closer to 10.
Yeah, we gotta get some
Um,
more.
yeah, we'll definitely get more guests, especially as we're heading into, this is going to be sad to say out loud. We're heading
No,
into the off season already. Um, so there's less like real like us actually hitting golf balls outside into the air content here. And it's going to be much more improvement stuff, which we're going to start with today. We're gonna start talking more about improvement stuff today. Because we don't very soon we're not going to get to play outside. So
Hey, we got another really solid month of golf ahead of us before we get that way.
for sure, yeah, it
I
is.
might, I might just book a flight to Florida. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, you know what? You and me both. I actually, side note that nobody cares about probably. I yesterday or the day before, I was like, you know what? Season's over. I haven't really got to play as much golf as I would have liked to this year. New baby, lots of new things going on at the house, so not as much time to golf as I would prefer. Um, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I see a free weekend in the end of September, so the end of this month. So I'm just driving up north to Brainerd, and just gonna stay overnight for a night and play golf. I just decided the other day. I just get in the car and driving, and I'm just gonna go play.
That'll be fun.
Brainerd's got fantastic golf courses. Brainerd, Minnesota. For those that don't know where we are, fantastic, fantastic golf courses up there. And we I almost said we. I'm from the cities. You're south of the cities, so you're even farther away from Brainerd. But if you go up north anywhere in Minnesota, there is fantastic golf. And yeah, I just randomly the other day was like, I'm just gonna treat myself and drive up north and play some nice golf. So um, I don't know where
Good.
that came from, but why that came up is because I was getting sad that the season's ending, so I'm gonna go play some nice golf before it's over.
Me too. I've been thinking about that too. Going up north somewhere.
Well,
Giants. We'll see.
September 27th, on air production meeting. If you'd like to join, let me
Perfect.
know. Anyways, I don't know what happened there. I just almost passed away on camera, I think. Anyways, before we get into our main topic that we wanted to cover today was some the beginning of talks about how to be better at practicing because we're gonna be doing that soon. You had a tweet that we both came across today that you wanted to go over.
Yeah, just the my
Is that right?
golf spy.
Is that right?
I just think it's hilarious because they had a poll up and over almost 4,700 people voted on this poll, and 30% of people said no. I have never cheated at golf. That means that there are 30% of people out there who are liars.
Yeah, I
But 1,410 people who are lying out their ass.
yeah yeah I'm 100% in agree. I think you retweeted and I just said hilarious. I think all I said was hilarious or something like that because it is very funny. I don't know if people are trying to I think it's one of two things. I think there's a percentage of those people that are just blatantly pretending that they've never cheated.
Mhm.
And then the other percentage are people that are cheating, but they don't know the rules of golf. So they're not following the rules of golf, but they don't know that they're not following the rules of golf. So they think that they're not
Yep.
cheating.
Yep. Exactly.
But I would venture to say even the pros, I will go all the way to the pros.
I don't know
One
if I would
one
go. I don't know if
hundred
I would go
percent
that far.
100% of this is how far I'm going with this. 100% of golfers have cheated at golf
Yeah,
at
I
some point in their golfing career.
I would say that. Now, some people in the comments there, they were trying to make caveats of, well, I've never cheated during a tournament.
Oh well,
As
okay. Well, I would
well,
hope not. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, maybe you haven't, but maybe you have. Maybe it was an incorrect drop. But I mean, if you got an incorrect ruling from a rules official and did something weird, that's still not breaking the rules because the rules official messed up. That's on them, not the player.
Right.
So it's not the player at fault there. But yeah, everybody in the casual round has cheated.
Yeah.
You
100%.
pick up a putt,
100%.
your ball is 3 inches out of bounds. You're like, screw it. I'm not playing that as
I
OB.
a
I'm
hundred
going game.
percent. There are zero golfers on planet Earth that have played every single shot they've ever hit in their life perfectly to the rules of golf. It's
Yeah. No.
there. There are very few things in life, Mitch, that are 0% or 100%. This is 100%. It's
Yeah.
100%.
Would 100% agree with that. That yeah, everyone has cheated. That's and it's because golf is such a hard game, man. Like when
Yeah,
you're out just trying to have fun, it's
I
like
know.
I'm not trying to take it that seriously. Like I'm trying to have fun with friends, with family, whatever it is. Like I don't care that much. Like you're stepping up, you're just hitting putts, you're hammering the ball wherever. You're trying to do things that are fun on the course, and yeah, playing strictly by the rules is not one of those all the time.
No, no. And as I replied
I would,
to, who was it? Golfer. I think it was Golfer HD, who I believe we had on the podcast. Yeah, we had him on early in our podcasting career. He posted something about a scramble that he played in a week or two ago, something like that, and said something like he learned that you just always have to be grinding when you're playing golf. And I was like, no, dude. If you're gonna go play a scramble, like just go play the scramble, have some beers, like don't take practice swings, don't go to the range, like just go out and just hit the ball. But you have to you have to realize that when you do that, you're not going to hit as good as shots as you normally would if you were grinding, and you have to be okay with that and know that that's going to happen. And on the surface, that's like, well, that sucks. Why would I ever want to not hit the best shots I can possibly hit all the time? Well, because golf is fucking hard, and if you grind yourself into the ground to try and do that on every single shot you ever take, you are going to quit golf. Also, 100% of the time.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Like,
It's just burnout. It's burnout waiting to happen. It will happen. It might not happen tomorrow or the next day. It might not be a year, but it will, like, you will burn yourself out and you will stop playing golf.
mhm.
Guaranteed. Happens to pros. They do it all the time.
I would even say, I would say probably close to 100%. I don't know if I want to say exactly 100%.
I like the
Near,
we're just calling everything 100%. I like this.
nearly 100% of people have probably posted a score into Gin that was not following the rules of golf.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to
for
say
sure.
100%, but it's real close.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
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 But anyway, I just had to get that
Guilty,
off
by
my
the
chest.
way. Guilty. I guarantee I have scores in Jin that were not 100% followed by.
Yeah.
And I don't even have that many in there.
Yeah.
So I
And for
don't
the
use it.
most part,
I don't
not
use
going to
it
make
often.
a difference. But unless you're a real big vanity handicapper where you're saying that you're like a 5, but really you're probably a 12, and I mean, then you're really just doing yourself a disservice.
Right, yeah. And I don't even understand why anyone would do that. I'm sure there's people that do that. That's what
It,
it, by the way, that's what everybody thinks Riggs does,
no, he does.
which he
However,
doesn't.
I do know a guy who is a very big vanity handicapper, and he does it specifically so his handicap stays low enough that he can enter MGA tournaments, because you have to be below a 6.4. So he needs to stay below 6.4 in order to enter those events.
Yeah.
But he's not a 6.4. I have played with him. He is not. I think every year he plays the mid am, and he shoots 95 plus almost every round.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I played with him in a local tournament here, and I think he shot like 92 and like 100 or something like that in two of the rounds that I played with him. And and in one of those, I was told by another competitor, I was his marker, but I was told by another competitor that he took a drop and then didn't count it. But I'm like, but I told the guy, I'm like, I didn't see him do that, so you need to call him on it.
Right, yeah.
If he did that, like, call him on it. Because
Right.
like that's such blatant cheating. Like you're gonna say you found your ball when it clearly went into a hazard and take a drop. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, everyone cheats. Some people do it very blatantly in tournaments, but for the most part, I would think serious people who are playing in tournaments don't cheat in tournaments.
No.
If they do, they have probably been disqualified several times because you usually get caught eventually.
Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always have my head on a swivel. Just not that I don't trust people, just that for the most part, the rules of golf are confusing.
Hmm.
Um, so if anything like looks like it could possibly have a question mark, like I just kind of have my eyes open and eyes and ears open and just paying attention just in case because like who knows? Like for example, let me give you actually a perfect example that I was involved in. Um, in a tournament I was playing in 2 or 3 years ago. Um, I was I was on a par four. I was underneath a tree, approaching a green with like a punch shot. I hit a beautiful punch shot that hit the front of the green, bounced up on top of the green, rolled off the back of the green, barely missed going into a bunker, and then rolled back towards the woods. Beautiful shot that just was fairly unlucky. Not that
Hmm.
that matters to the story, but I like to brag. Um, so it's sitting in the back on the back side of the green. The green is elevated, obviously, because it rolled down the hill. I'm standing back there by myself because my playing partners are all playing their shots, and I was walking up to see if my ball was in play. My ball was in a mown area that was very clearly meant to be played from. Like they mowed it there. It was mown area, and then it's like brush, trees, everything. So it was grass, brush, and trees. However, they had cut the grass there either that day or the day before, and whoever had cut the grass there forgot to put a white stake in, like basically right next to where my ball was. So the white stakes that were currently out there actually cut across the openly mown area. So my ball line white line to white line because there was no paint or white stake to white stake was technically behind the stakes, even though I was in a mown area that, in theory, should have been played from if somebody had put the white stake back in.
Hmm.
So I'm back there by myself, and for quite a long time, I'm back there with my caddy. Like, I'm pretty sure this is out of bounds or it's close. So, like, I'm not going to play this. Playing partners come up. They both come over and they're like, "What are you asking about?" And I'm like, well, come on, like look at these lines. I'm pretty sure this is out of bounds. And they're like, oh, like I would have just played that. It's like, well, this is like this is like a big question mark here. So
Hmm.
I called a rules official over, and the rules official was like, oh yeah, that's out of bounds. And I was like, okay. And I was like, can we call another rules official because it looks like this is supposed to be played from, like maybe there's a stake like laying in the grass that I'm not that we don't know about or something whatever. So called another rules official, and that rules official also was like, no, that's out of bounds. I know it looks like it's supposed to be played, but that's just how it works. And the other two playing competitors were like, oh, like if that was me, I would have just played it.
Hmm.
It's like so both of you in tournament play just admitted you would have just cheated.
Hmm.
So so that's why I always keep my eyes and ears open because like they they would have played it not openly cheating only because they didn't know the rule of the line,
Hmm.
the white lines. So
Yeah.
long
That's
story short, that's why I always keep my eyes and ears open because people just don't know.
Yeah, I really only think about that when it's close to OB or a hazard or something. I always like kind of walk over just to make sure that nothing weird is going on. But outside of that, I'm just mostly trusting that people are doing the right thing because it is supposed to be a game of trust and character and whatnot.
It is.
Part. But I don't know. Your OB story made me think of a different one. So you've played my home course, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
fescue. There's a lot of backyards. Like
Yeah.
OB is intended to be like if it's the course of butting in a backyard, it's intended to be the mode area, so a person's backyard is out of bounds.
Yep.
However, in a lot of spots, the stakes, if you go stake to stake, would be considered out of bounds. Um, sorry, excuse me. So, but they don't have any painted lines or anything, so you would have to go stake to stake.
Yep.
But in our club championship, our the director of golf, he was like, it's mode area is the line. So he's like, even if it's stake to stake, it's the mode area. So sometimes there are little quirks like that you have to just make sure of when you go to play it in a tournament,
Yeah.
that you know all of those specifics, because there might be some weird holes where that could happen. Because it did happen to me in just a fun round where I hit one way right on 16. We found the ball, but if you were looking stake to stake, it would have been out of bounds. But that my buddy who I was playing with, he's like, no, that's inbounds. He's like, I know, but he's like, but it's in the fescue. It's not in the yard. Like, it's inbounds.
Mm-hmm.
But I did that. I've had that situation before the club championship. So then hearing them say it in the club championship, I'm like, okay, fine. Like, that's how I'm playing it here all the time. I'm not doing
Yep.
stake to stake. It is backyard, because that's how we do it in competitions.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
those are some weird things to think about when you're playing somewhere.
Yes. Very similar situation. I was caddying at Interlaken after their renovation. There's a hole on the back nine, 15, 16, something like that. Like there's trees and woods off to the right, and there are white stakes back over in that direction. Um, but the way that they had been playing all of their events and everything is if you hit it into the trees, as long as you're not in somebody's backyard, they're just ignoring the stakes that are there and they're just calling everything red staked. So if you find your ball in the woods, you can go ahead and just hit it out of there if you want. But if you didn't know that, like, you may have assumed that was a penalty. So yeah, there's all types of things like that. By the way, speaking of white stakes, um, if there isn't already a petition for it, I would like to start a petition to eliminate white stakes.
Yep, 100%.
Okay,
Make
good.
it, make it,
Good.
make it
More
all lateral.
100% today.
100%. Make it all lateral. That's my official position. Speeds up play, makes the game more fun for amateurs. If you want to keep white
Yeah,
stakes for pros, sure, do
fine.
that.
Yeah,
But
I'm fine with that for
let them
pros.
have fun.
Yeah, I don't understand the point of white stakes for 100% for amateur play. It makes absolutely no sense. Uh, I actually don't even see the point of it for the pros. It just okay, cool. It just adds one more stroke, like whatever. That doesn't really matter anyway. So because they don't really hit it out of bounds much, like they hit it good. So yeah, I
But
petition to ban all white stakes. Everything is red or yellow.
right. But anyway,
Perfect. Okay,
so there are ways to avoid hitting things out of bounds
it's true.
and in hazards.
Yeah,
And sometimes that can be done with practice.
yeah,
Like becoming a better ball striker
yeah,
specifically can help a lot with that.
yeah. Agreed.
This actually came from one of our listeners. This question, he just wanted to, talk more about practice, because he said he goes and he'll hit a few balls, but then be bored out of his mind. Like, and I get that. Going to the range and just hitting, 57 irons is boring and
Very
kind of
boring.
stupid. It's not fun. So that's why people don't really practice. So I wonder if that's why some people don't practice, other than they don't have a lot of time on their hands. They just get bored with it. Like, I'm just going to go do what? Just go hit 50 golf balls and then call it a day.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of ways to make practice way more fun.
100%. Yeah.
And I think here's what we'll do. I want you to give me three. So I'll give you three things to do that can make practice way more fun. And then you give me three things that you think you can do to make practice more fun.
Wait, I'm going first or you're going first?
I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
I've already
So,
talked too much. It's your turn.
so number one, I'm going to go short game here, like working on your chipping around the greens. If you have a practice area where it actually has real cups, not those weird little sticks, circle sticks,
Yep, yep.
real cups, just take the flag stick out of there and go to a spot, say 10, 20 yards, whatever, away from it, and just try to jar it. Like, that's your only intention. You don't care where that ball ends up. You're not trying to roll it in. Your only goal is to land it in the cup. Just straight in, jarred. boom, done. Used to do this a lot as a kid. Like our coaches in high school would actually like, bring us out to a hole and set us up with a whole bunch of golf balls, and there's like just try to make it. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Like, your only goal is to try to hole this out, and it was so much fun because all you're doing like you're not really thinking about technique. You're not thinking about how to actually hit the shot. All you're thinking about is just trying to land it on that spot. And obviously, what it ends up actually doing is helping you really dial in your distance control of I want to land the ball on that spot. And all of a sudden, like you can just kind of feel it in your hands of this is how hard I need to hit this golf ball to make it land there in that specific spot.
Hmm.
So it's a way to practice your short game in a fun way that's not like super serious. And it can be even more fun if you go ahead and add in some friends to it. I mean, we did it all with the golf team. So there was like six of us out there just hitting ball after ball after ball, trying to jar it into this hole. And I don't, I'm sure we had some prize or thing or whatever for whoever got it done first. But making it like a little competition like that, you could bet your buddy a beer or whatever that you can jar it before he does, and just sit there and try to make a bunch of them. So that's one way in short game that you can make a ton of fun. Another one on the range. Um, this one has it's a little weird because you have to be at a range that has the cart ball picker out there and or the ball picker, and all you're trying to do is hit the ball picker, grab a club and try to hit it. Like so
Yep.
you may have to slice the ball, draw the ball, do whatever, but you're like hit it really low or high, but all you're trying to do is hit the guy in the cart. Again, used to do this all the time in high school where
Yep.
that's what we were trying to do because our coach would be out there and he would be having a ton of fun with it. He'd be smiling as like golf balls are ricocheting off the
Oh
cart.
yeah.
But again, it's just super fun. Like you're just hitting a moving target. You're not thinking about technique. You're not thinking about anything other than how can I get this ball to hit that guy?
Yeah,
That's
100%. Yeah.
it's a ton of fun. And again, this is where you kind of learn how you can like dial in a 6 iron to go low and go 100 yards to hit that spot, or how to
Yep.
turn a ball a certain way in order to get it to happen. Um, so that's my second way that you can make practice more fun. Again, very specific scenario. Uh, the third way, we'll go putting here. Or no, sorry, I'm gonna go range again. Let's say you're at the range with your buddy, or there's just somebody else at the range hitting golf balls. Try to play a game where they hit and then you try to hit their golf ball in the air.
I like it.
I have done this before. I've never actually hit the ball, but I've tried and I've come pretty close a few times. I've done it to like random people at the range. I'm just like, hey, go ahead and hit. So they're hitting like a 9 iron, and then I just like watch them hit, wait a little bit, and then I rocket a 4 iron out there just to see if I can hit the ball. But yeah, you can do it with your buddies too, because I mean, then you can actually try to time things up. It's a little bit easier than just some random person at the range. Uh, but it can just be again really fun way to learn how to hit a golf ball at a specific trajectory at a target that's not like it's not a green, it's not a hole. You're not thinking about technique, but you're just out there. You're just trying to do something weird, but it's going to improve your skills.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. I by the way, at some point um early in our podcasting days again, we had petitioned another petition. We need a list of our podcast petitions. I think we have a handful of these now.
Cut them up.
We petitioned that that more people should do way more range sessions with friends. It's very
Mm-hmm.
strange because, like you said, I mean, I didn't play high school or college golf, so I don't know that too much. But like I went to the range in high school and college and stuff, and that was always with friends. Um, and practicing when they're like when your friend is next to you, and you can just be like, "Hey, let's see who can hit it closer to that flag, or hey, let's see who can hit that box first, or who can hit it the most, or whatever. There's it's just in human nature that if you're going out and doing something like that with friends, it's just immediately going to be more fun. And it's strange because you do that when you're a kid, before high school, college, maybe a little bit after college, and then you get to your adult world, and just nobody goes out there with friends unless it's like pre-round. But then
Mhm.
now you're not you shouldn't be pre-round like grinding on your game. Some people do that, and then they're like, "Oh, why did I suck on the golf course?" Well, because what you did on the range. Um, but otherwise, if you're just going to the range for practice, like nobody really goes with friends. It's usually just single people out there, or people out there with a coach, or sometimes you see like husbands and wives out there occasionally. But most of the time, it's just singles out there grinding on their own. That's boring.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's super boring.
yeah,
Like I can like when I go out and I do that, I can do it for half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour if I'm really grinding, getting ready for a tournament. But, a normal just, coming home after work or whatever, I stop at the range, like it's probably 30 minutes at the most. And then I'm just kind of like, okay, that's enough. I'm done. I'm out of here.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
You throw in just like little weird competitions with friends and it becomes so much different because again, you're not thinking about anything other than whatever game you're playing and your the competition in you actually will make you better
For
on the
sure.
course. It'll carry over on the course too, because on the course you have every shot's full of pressure. Where if you're just on the range competing with a friend, yeah, it doesn't seem like pressure, but human nature it still kind of is. As long as both of you are competitive in a friendly way, where it's like you both want to beat each other,
Yeah,
like it can be a fun way to build that pressure in and make you better on the golf course because of that.
for sure. Yeah, 100%. Um, yeah. Did you give three? Is it my turn?
I did give three.
All
It's
right,
you know.
I'll go. So I have a lot of things, but I'm gonna go more. Maybe these aren't as specific as yours were. The first thing that I like to do on the range, if I feel like I'm just getting kind of bored, is I just like to try a bunch of different shot shapes. And the reason, two reasons. One, I know that it's good to like learn those things and know how to do them, but also like Tiger specifically made like shot shaping very cool and look very fun. Like watching Tiger's stingers off the tee are like, whoa, that's sick. I want to try and do that. So, if I feel myself starting to get a little bored, I'll just like grab whatever club I'm hitting and then just start like, because my ball flight, by the way, is very straight for the most part, as is yours, I believe.
Mhm.
So I try and just start moving the ball. So hitting fades, hitting draw, as long as you know how to do them, by the way. If you don't know how to do them, then this really doesn't work. As long as you have like some kind of idea of how that's supposed to happen, then just grabbing whatever club you have and then, hit your straight shot. Then the next one, try and hit a fade and then try and hit like a big slice and then try and hit a draw and then like a duck hook and then hit like a stinger fade and just like try and get the ball to do a whole bunch of different things that you're trying to get the ball to do. Like obviously you can go hit the ball and hit a slice and not try and hit a slice. But if
Mhm.
you can hit a slice and have done it on purpose, like that's a good boost to confidence that you can do it. But also, it's really cool and fun to just be like, I'm gonna try and bend this thing around this flag that's 50 yards in front of me, and then you actually do it. Like it's fun.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things I like to do is just kind of shot shape the ball around. And it's more fun for me because my normal ball flight's pretty straight, so I don't see the ball curve too much usually. The second thing and we kind of mentioned this playing with friends, but you can do this on your own too, is make competitions out of things. Whether you're on the range or wherever. I actually like to do this more on the putting green because putting is so goddamn boring. Um,
I was wondering if either one of us were going to bring up
yeah,
something.
I was hoping you would mention putting, so I'm going to bring the competitions to my competition example to the putting green, even though you can do this wherever you want. Like you can go on the range and say, okay, my competition now is I want to hit five out of 10 wedges, and 5 out of 10 of these have to be within 10 feet of the flag I'm aiming at, or something like that. But on the putting green, there's tons and tons of competition type stuff you can do. There's the drills where you put the tees around the holes, and you have around one hole, and then at every spot you have 3 putts. And depending how far away you are, so if you start at like 5 feet and you have 3 balls, you have to make all five, make all three before you can move on. If you miss one, you do it however you want. You can start all over. Um, you can restart at the spot you are, and you have to make all three in a row until you can move on. Stuff like that. Or people will do the like a distance challenge. So you put a tee at 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, and then you have 3 or 5 balls at each spot. And you have to either make the putts or they have to miss, but they can't be short, and they can't go more than 2 feet past the cup. If they're short, if they're missed and they're short, you start over. Stuff like that. So all types of different putting competitions you can do to make it to spice it up a little bit. Maybe competition isn't as fun for people, but it changes the routine a little bit, and it also gives you it puts more pressure on you while you're practicing, and that will be helpful when you're playing competitions, if you play competitions, or I mean if you're just playing against buddies too, like pressure happens. So putting yourself in situations like that where there is a little bit of pressure to complete your competition or your challenge will be helpful on the golf course. So tons of things on the putting green you can do, but you can do it in any part of the game. Um, and then the third thing that I find fun to do that I don't know how practical it really is. Uh, Definitely can be, but maybe not to the extreme. I like to do like a one club yardage challenge. With wedges, this is really big, by the way. Um, this it's actually like a thing coaches will actually have you do is you just take a wedge and you just start. If you have a wedge and it goes 100 yards maximum, you hit it 100 yards, then you try and hit it 90, then you try and hit it 80, then you try and hit it 70, and bring it all the way back and try and hit it 5 yards. But you can do that with any club. So I'll do it with like a 5 iron, for example. I'll start and my 5 iron can go anywhere up to like 220 yards. So I'll go hit the 5 iron, try and hit it 220, and then I'll find a target somewhere that's like 200, and I'll try and hit it there. And then I'll find another target or something along the lines that's like 180, and I'll try and hit it 180, and I'll bring it all the way back, and I'll try and hit flop shots with a 5 iron. You may never, you probably will never need to hit a flop shot with a 5 iron. However, if you can hit a flop shot with a 5 iron, you can hit a flop shot with a wedge.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you'd never use it, but it's fun to try and hit flop shots with 5 irons. And if you can bring yourself all the way back to like, I got a 5 iron in my hand and I have to hit it 40 yards, like, let me try and open the face up and see if I can do it. So,
Right.
that is something, and that I would usually do that if I'm like really, really bored or like I've just been grinding for a long time. Because again, you're just never going to use a 5 iron as a flop shot, but
Mm-hmm.
it's something different. And like I said, if you can flop a 5 iron, you can flop a wedge, so it can transition to other clubs too.
Right. No, I really like your last one. One thing I specifically like doing is, let's just say, you have a target out there that's 100 yards. It's like hit your normal wedge that you use for 100 yards, then hit an 8 iron, then a 6 iron, then a 4 iron. Hit them all to the 100-yard mark.
That too,
Like,
yeah. You can go the other way too, yeah.
can you do that? Can you hit a 4 iron 100 yards on purpose? Like those types of things. They're really fun to do and to try because you have to manipulate how you're delivering the club, right? Like you can't hit a full 4 iron, but you're hitting like this weird, slow, punchy 4 iron that goes 100 yards. You may have to open up the face and cut it a little bit because that's the only way it's going to go that distance.
Hmm.
Like there's just all sorts of weird stuff with that.
Yeah, and that's actually real world like examples too. Like my example of hitting like trying to flop a 5 iron 30 yards, like you'll just never do that in real life. However, yeah, like you said, if you're looking at a 100-yard flag and the club that you have gotten to is a 5 iron, there are situations where you may be 100 yards away and your only option is like a 4 or 5 or 6 iron and
Mm-hmm.
you have to get that thing 100 yards. So if you've never done that before, like how are you supposed to know what to do? But if you're just fucking around on the range one day and you're like, haha, I'm gonna try and poke a 5 iron 90 yards and see what happens, see if I can do it, and then you can do it, and then you find yourself in that situation on the course. I mean, you're not grinding on the range practicing it, but you've done it before. You kind of know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen. Then you could probably pull it off. So it has real world application, and that's in that sense for sure.
I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on the podcast, but I've had to do that in a competition where it was like I think I was 90 or 100 yards right around there away from the pin, and I had like this low hanging branch in front of me, so I can't hit a wedge. But what I ended up doing was I hit this soft little punch 8 iron that ended up landing on the front of the green, rolled up, and I had like a 15-foot birdie putt. But if I don't mess around and do that sort of stuff, like you will, I would never have the touch in order to understand how hard to hit this 8 iron to get it to go 90 yards. And that's why I specifically like that one, like playing around with those numbers with all your different clubs, is because then you understand on you. It's almost like the clock system with all of your clubs. Like you just kind of understand. Well, if I hit my 7 iron at with my arms at 9 o'clock or whatever, it's going to go 3/4 of the distance that it normally does. So if it goes 170 yards normally, maybe it's going 150 yards. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta understand how to manipulate those numbers, but you can do it in a fun way on the range that can carry over to the course.
For
Same thing
sure.
with like same thing with like hitting hooks or hitting draws and fades onto a target. So typically, like let's say the target's at 180 yards and you hit your 6 iron 180 yards. Well, if you're trying to hit a draw onto that target, you're probably actually hitting a 7 iron because, as you and I both know, and probably some of our listeners, a 7 iron to hit a draw, especially a bigger draw, it's going to be slightly closed face. So it's going to present at the ball with a couple degrees less loft, and the ball is going to go further because of that. So you don't hit your 6 iron 180 yards. Now you're hitting your 7 iron to get that distance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're trying to hit that same 180 yards with a 5 iron, you're going to have to cut it. So you're going to present it with a little bit less loft and it's going to go a little bit shorter distance. So that's another way that you can kind of learn how to manipulate yardages too, is hit at 180 yards, hit one club with a fade and another club with a draw, and then your normal club, 6 iron, just straight like you normally would. And it's doing a few things. One, it's more fun to do that. It's way more fun to try to hit a slice or a draw into a target just for fun than it is to hit your normal stock shot. So it's different. It's kind of like a novelty in your brain, but it's also building skills. You're learning how to present the club face in a different way at impact that moves the ball in a way that you're not used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun and it's skill building, and it's something I like to do when I'm just bored of hitting golf balls. I'll just hit a bunch of slices and hooks onto targets.
Yeah. 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 It's funny that we have to. I guess you don't have to, but you should do those things, and they're obviously helpful, um, and it's weirdly unknown that you should be doing those things. So like
Mhm.
us having to tell people to that that's some like things you should do on the range seems funny to me. Only because like as somebody that has played other sports, you don't have to tell like in basketball, for example, which is what I played most of my life. You don't have to tell people to like go to the basketball court and when you're having like just do something fun on the basketball court and just like shoot half court shots. Like people do that all the time because it's fun to try and shoot a half court shot. Just like it's fun to try and hit like a tiger stinger. Um, but like half court shots are real world applications. Like you will shoot half court shots occasionally at some point in your basketball career. It, is it high percentage? Will you do it often? Will you make it often? Absolutely not. But if you've never done it before, like you have absolutely zero chance to pull it off. If you've done it before, not only is it just fun to do and practice, but you have now given yourself a by just having fun in practice, you've also given yourself an opportunity for something really weird to happen in the game where you're in that situation, you can maybe pull it off because you've done it in practice before. Yeah, you do that in all types of all other sports. You don't have to, like I said, in basketball, you don't have to tell people to like, hey, shoot half court shots because it might be good for like you just know like that's true. But in golf, it's like, wait, you want me to go and try and hit a slice, and I've never hit like I don't hit slices. Like, yeah, you should do you should do that. Like,
Or they're big slicers of the golf ball, and all they want to do is get rid of the slice. So they're so focused on trying to do that. It's like, well, why don't you just learn how to hit a draw?
exactly, yeah,
Just learn how to do it
yeah,
the other way.
yeah,
It as long as you know the mechanisms to make it happen. Inside out, club path with the club face closed. Like as long as you know that that's what you're supposed to do, for the most part, I've found that people can figure out how to do that.
for
Like
sure.
they figure out how to manipulate the club face to make that happen. Unless they're like extreme novices, they play a couple times a year. Yeah, they're not going to know that. But for most people want to get better, they can do that.
Yeah,
But you said something about the tiger stinger. It made me remember. Like I'm sure everyone has seen videos of those like TikTokers who are hitting stingers to like an egg.
yeah,
Like they're just trying to hit the egg.
yep,
Like that's really all we're talking about to make it fun. Like
exactly,
go do something stupid like that. It doesn't have
exactly,
to be an egg that you're trying to video for TikTok, but if there's a flag out there that's 50 yards away, hit your 4 iron and try to hit the top of the flag.
for sure.
That's all you got to do.
It's that easy, yeah,
It's just fun to do that. Like, can I hit this target with this glove? When it's not,
100%,
as long as it's not your normal shot, like you're just trying to do something stupid that you don't normally do.
right, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just makes me laugh that just because I played so many other sports, so that's normal, and it's just not normal in golf.
Mhm. Yeah. And again, I think it's just because people are so focused on either one, all they're doing is getting warmed up for their round, if they're doing a warm up at all.
Yeah,
And two, they're so focused if they're trying to improve, it's because there's a specific shot that's happening on the golf course that they want to get rid of.
yeah,
So all they're focusing on is trying to do that. Um, but I think more people need to realize that doing the weird stuff that we just talked about tonight is actually all skill building. That
100%. Yeah,
gives you the ability to understand how to hit different shots, how to manipulate. Let's say it's how to manipulate the ball flight, because ultimately that's what we're all trying to do. We're
yep,
trying to make this ball go to where we want it to go in a very specific way. And everything we talked about tonight will end up leading to that because you're building a skill set that allows you to manipulate the ball flight to go to a spot.
right.
And that's it. But it's
Yeah,
doing it in a fun way.
yeah,
That's the main.
which is better. We need to make golf more fun. Make golf fun again.
Golf is more fun. So, so again, I keep going back to stingers. Like during our club champ, it was like 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds, like gusts up to 30. And I remember I was hitting so many punch shots back into the wind, especially on the second day because it was windier. And a guy I was playing with, he was like, he was loving all of my punch shots. He's like, he's a good player. I think he's like a zero handicap. Like he was one of the guys in the final group, and it's like very, very good player. But he was just loving every time I hit a punch shot because he's like, I haven't been able to practice that much this year. It's like I don't have that shot right now. And he has this like he has a really beautiful ball flight, nice and high, comes down soft. But
Well,
he's
he's
like,
dead in the
I don't.
wind then.
It's like I just kind of wish that I could hit that stinger that you got. It's like it looks so much fun. Like
Yeah,
like this little cutoff swing, just keeping the ball nice and low.
yeah.
I don't know. And again, it's a real world example of why you need to be able to hit a stinger because sometimes you're going to be playing into a 20-mile-an-hour wind and you need to keep it low. Otherwise, it will never get there. It'll get balloon up, get caught in the wind, and just die out of the sky.
Yep, yep. 100%.
Anyway, I played horrible that day, but I did hit some cool stingers.
Yeah, well, and it gets windy, scores aren't as good, so
Yeah,
it's fair.
yeah, it's what it is.
Anyways. Uh oh my heavens. Is 8:52. We're heading up on the end already here. Quickly, I don't know if you have anything else on that, but speaking of all this practice talk that we have, at the end of last week, we had brought up a potential idea for you and I um, to work with people that are like 100 shooters, 90s shooters, mostly uh, that want to get better and shoot like in the 80s, or if you're a 100 shooter, like break into the 90s and shoot like bogey golf. We have mentioned wanting to do that as kind of like a side project, I'll call it, to our show here. We don't have a whole lot of details on exactly how it will work. We have some ideas, but nothing like set in stone. We just kind of threw it out there to see if anybody out there was interested that would be like dedicated to wanting to do that with us. Um, I got one message from somebody that is like a high 80s shooter, high 80s, low 90s shooter, um, that I think is a solidly good candidate that will probably jump into that with. And then I got another message today from somebody that's like a high 90s shooter that I think would fit. Um, but I think you'd agree. I think both of us would love to like work with somebody that like really struggles to start their score with a nine, because we can
Yeah,
really do some work with people, as long as they're like dedicated to wanting to get better. Like I think we can do in a series like that. We can do a lot of work with somebody like that and get them really good really fast. So, anyways, my whole point with that is to reiterate from last week. We have a couple people that are possibly on the list there. I mean, we can have a handful of people to do this with, and we would love to do that. So if you are one of those people or know one of those people, 100 shooter that would be dedicated enough to try and practice and play enough to get into the 90s or even potentially in the 80s. Um, we have some ideas on how to make that happen as like coach-ish type people. We're not coaches. We just know a good amount about how to get better at golf because both of us have done that trip before.
yeah,
And so we
we
want to
are
help
not here
apply
to
it.
work on. We're not here to work on technique. That's
No,
not
we
what
are not. We don't know anything about technique. We're not Ryan Mulcahy. If like we're not gonna do any of that. But there's so many other things in golf that have nothing to do with your technique. If you're a 100 shooter, non-technique wise, you can take a 100 shooter and make them a bogey golfer without a whole ton of effort. A lot of it is just knowledge. It's just knowledge based on knowing what you do and then how to apply that to make your scores better. So yeah, I mean, we can take 100 shooters, and I think we can make them play into the 80s without much problem. So yeah, if you're one of those people, let us know, or know somebody that's one of those people. Again, we don't have a whole lot of details on exactly how it's working or going to work, if it will work at all. Um, but we do want to try and do that and help a few people out. So yeah. Anyways, I think
Yeah,
I covered it. Did I cover it?
nailed it.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
all
hope
I
it
got, Mitch.
helped everyone learn something tonight.
Yeah.
If they didn't know that already, but yeah. And so until next week, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, share, all that stuff. Give us a 5-star review, positive comments. We appreciate them all. We appreciate everyone who listens to this. Again, we're just trying to build a community of amateur golfers who just love the game, want to get better, and talk golf. So, but we'll be
For sure.
back next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Normal Time. It's the only time zone that matters.
It is.
So
Yes.
until then,
And never forget it either. That East Coast stuff, no, those time zones are not real. You can live in the future if you want, but it's not a real time zone.
yep,
Okay?
Central Time Zone.
Central time zone's the only one that matters.